guys. So today's video is going to be all about 5 makeup brands or beauty brands, whatever, that I never buy from anymore. In every case, with every brand on this list, at some point or the other, I did purchase things from them, and I will tell you which things those are, but for one reason or the other, which I will also share with you, I find myself completely avoiding them. I can walk into Sephora or Ulta, and I'm 100 times out of 100 just gonna scoot right past their section. Everyone probably has brands like this. I would love to hear your 5 down below. Also, T of Nappy Headed Jojoba recently did a video. I think hers is called 5 brands that bore her, but go check it out too because it seems like it's pretty similar to this. And this is also going to be part of a series. Coming up, there will be a 5 brands I always buy from and 5 brands that I have never been interested in. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more of that. Today, I'm also filming a video about books to help you guys get through self-isolation. And I'm also filming a video about beauty devices that get results. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, make sure you subscribe. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. Come hang out with me on Patreon and let's just get started. So the first brand that I never buy from anymore is Stila. I've said this before, but I feel like Stila and another brand on this list are kind of like the Captain D's of the beauty industry in that there's like some small subculture of people that is keeping them in business, but I don't happen to know one person in that group of people who is buying this. I don't think I have bought a single Stila product since 2018. And the last product I bought from them was those Stila Glitter and Glow eyeshadows. I gave those things so many chances, 5 chances, 4 or 5 chances to be exact. I couldn't make them work. I don't understand what everybody loves about them so much, but they just were not for me. So in terms of Stila's product line, I have tried those. I've tried their liquid lipsticks. I've tried their highlighters, 2 different ones. I've tried eyeshadow palettes. I've tried their eyeliner. So I've tried several things from the line. I used to be really into their kitten line. You guys know about that? Like, I feel like every brand has either a color or a product that they will just stretch out and try to milk as much as humanly possible. And for Stila, it is an eyeshadow called Kitten. They have kitten highlighters, kitten eyeshadow palettes, kitten everything. And the funny thing about it is, it's just a champagne pink eyeshadow, which honestly, the fact that they were able to milk that for as long as they were just really gets me nostalgic from the old days of beauty, because you couldn't really do that anymore. Like, no one's releasing a single shimmery eyeshadow and being able to like populate that throughout their entire line successfully. But Stila just kind of falls flat for me for some reason, and I can't really put my finger on it. It's not because they have bad products. With the exception of those Glitter and Glow eyeshadows, there's nothing in their line that I've used that didn't work for me. I mean, just like with every line, they have hits and they have misses. It's not some sort of oversaturation of bad that makes their line something I avoid. So I was doing a little bit of digging for this video, and I found out that Stila is no longer carried at Sephora anymore. And I know I see them at Ulta every time I go, but I hadn't realized until I found that information on the internet that I haven't seen Sephora carrying Stila forever, and that's probably because I don't ever check for it, so why would I notice if it's not there anymore? Now, according to Stila's website, they are still out here winning awards. Their Heaven's Hue highlighter in the color Kitten, big shocker, recently won a Allure Best of Beauty video. I actually have that highlighter and I decluttered it because I don't really like it personally. And then also some of their lip lacquers won a People en Español beauty award as well. I've never even heard of these before, but maybe they're great. That's the word on the street at least. So from doing a little bit of peeping around for this video, I was trying to get a handle on Stila's relationship with social media, because I'm the first one to say that beauty brands and social media and the relationship with the two of them, depending on the situation, can be wonderful or wretched. But I don't have like any awareness whatsoever of Stila being in cahoots with any influencer at all. In fact, if you get on their Instagram, pretty much every picture that they post is theirs. It's something they took, and that's rare. Most beauty brands are dying to share posts of people using their stuff. It's a way of being like, here, see, they like it, you might too. But Stila doesn't do that. It looks like they're just trying to do their own thing with their own content, which I kind of think is unheard of. Like, what do you guys think? Are there other brands that are doing that? I'm having a hard time recalling if there's ever been like brand trips or collaborations with Stila. Do you guys remember any at all? Because I don't. And even like their branding itself has a very unseasoned chicken vibe to it. It's the same throughout the entire line and it never changes. They also don't tend to release limited edition or seasonal collections. In fact, if they do release anything new, it seems to be an extension of an already successful product they have. So recently, and I would say for the past year or two, it's just been like 20 different types of liquid eyeshadows. Either it's the glitter one, or it's the iridescent one, or the duochrome one, or the cream shadow one. Like, they find something that works for them, and that's what they're doing for now. But for me, it kind of begs the question, like, is Stila foolishly missing their chance to grow in the social media climate that we now live in? Or are they about as dumb as a fox as far as that's concerned? They tend to skip out, like I said, on all the tried and true marketing tactics, whether it's influencers, brand trips, constant releases, limited edition. They're not really doing any of that. And I wonder if that's kind of been the plan all along. We've definitely seen how influencer brand relationships can be hugely detrimental to a brand, and overall we've also seen how sick people are of the constant releases, and some people are completely swearing off certain brands altogether because they're so tired of it. So is this particular way that Stila goes about their business a good thing or a bad thing? Only time will tell, but either way, I'm really never checking for them. Number 2, speaking of brand trips and constant releases, we have Tarte. Other than Shape Tape, like, I guess that's still a thing, which has never been for me. Number 1, it breaks me out like a mother. And like, number 2, I don't really understand what's so special about it. Like, yeah, it's super opaque, full coverage, but so are a lot of other concealers. Why is this one held in such high esteem? I don't really understand it, but whatever. Tarte has fallen so far off my radar that I couldn't tell you, if my life depended on it, what they've been releasing over the past year or two. I think the last Tarte product that I bought was the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. It was basically a contour and highlighter palette, and that was back in like 2018, which that palette will always go down in history for me as the single makeup product on the market with the most beautiful packaging I've ever seen. But the product inside of it, total garbage, was not for me. I ended up decluttering it. But that's the last time I bought from them. So I feel like Tarte was one of the biggest beauty brands to kind of sink their teeth into the influencer marketing machine. Like, do you guys remember Tripping with Tarte? That was like a once a quarter thing we were just going to see all over social media, which begs the question, did that even actually work out for them? Because outside of Shape Tape, I can't think of any products they have launched in recent memory that performed exceptionally well, that are tried and true standards that people really love. And yes, I know there are tons of people who support Tarte simply because they're natural and vegan and cruelty-free and all that stuff. So that's probably what is keeping Tarte going. There's lots of money to be made in that, so they're probably going to be fine for the long haul. But Tarte also has entire other lines within its original collection of products, and the first one is the Rainforest of the Sea collection, which I had to sit down and really try to suss out why this was in any way different from the original line. Like, why is it called Rainforest of the Sea? And it seems like the reason is that the line contains, in some cases like this foundation, very tiny amounts of marine plant extract, which, okay. But in the case of this foundation, it is basically the last ingredient, so I can't even imagine how much you're benefiting from it, but whatever. And then you also have Sugar Rush, which is supposed to be like a Gen Z version of Tarte. I don't understand this at all. I mean, I guess maybe for kids or whatever. I would buy this for my daughter. I would. I would be really interested in finding out if Tarte is noticing like huge numbers coming in from Sugar Rush, because I feel like with Millie Bobby Brown's line that came out last year, I'm wondering if more companies are considering rolling out teen or tween or young girl friendly makeup lines. And I have so many complicated feelings about that in the first place, but this line seems to be doing really well. And it feels like every time I get on Ulta.com under the new releases tab, there's like 50-11 Tarte Sugar Rush items added to that list every single time. So I'd be really interested to see if like Urban Decay or a brand like that would ever consider doing something similar. I just want to know what the dividends are. I want to know how it's going. I'm very interested. But all in all, regardless of how huge, and I do mean that literally, I feel like their line, including Sugar Rush and the Rainforest of the Sea, are friggin' massive. But regardless of how huge it is, there's just really nothing that calls to me at all. There's not one product that they have that I've repurchased more than once. There's no staples. There's nothing really in there. And I've tried a lot. I do like their blushes. I do, but I've never repurchased any. And the last blush I bought from them was probably in 2016 or 2017, and I haven't picked another one up since. I'm just not checking for Tarte. Number 3 is Too Faced. And if Stila has too little of branding and marketing under their belt, Too Faced has way, way, way too much. I'm like the Goldilocks of Sephora over here, where it's just too much, or it's too little, or it's just right. Too Faced is doing too much. In my opinion, Too Faced is one of the, if not the most gimmicky brand on the market. And they have two main ones. The first one is makeup that smells, which, ew. And then the second one is this kind of like pink, almost childlike essence to their line. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. In all fairness, the chocolate line does smell pretty good. Okay, it's fine. But the peach line smells awful. It smells like if somebody was sucking on a peach Jolly Rancher and then burped in my face. It's not good. Not to mention, I'm trying to understand what the demographic is. Like, where is the customer here that is like out in the world just like,
I love this eyeshadow, but gee, golly whiz, I wish it smelled like food.
Similar to Stila and Tarte, like I said, almost every brand seems to have some sort of signifier they run through the whole line. And so we got the smelly food for Too Faced, and then we also have the hangover line from Too Faced, which has coconut water in it, and it breaks me out like insanely bad. So all of that is off limits for me. I don't know why you would put an ingredient in something that is so sensitizing to so many people, because recently when I did my foundation and primers declutter, I said something about that. I said there is something in here that breaks me out, and I got like 50, 60, 70 comments of people being like, it's the coconut water, me too. And I'm not even the biggest YouTuber on the planet at all. So if in my audience that many people are sensitive to it, I can't even imagine on a bigger scale how many people are sensitive to it. Like, why? I also like how they're cross-pollinating their gimmicks now, like with this peach-scented hangover spray. They also use a lot of double entendres, like sexual ones in their marketing as well. It's like the last days of Caligula in the friggin' Too Faced aisle at Sephora. It's insane the many ways they try to put that kind of tongue-in-cheek thing in there. Once again, it does not inspire me to want to buy it. Let me ask you guys this. Are any of y'all using a Too Faced product because you genuinely believe, take the packaging, take the smells, all that stuff out of the equation, do you honestly believe any products that you're using from Too Faced are better than any other product in that same category on the market from any other brand? I have to know. So like for me, for example, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. I have to say that really slow because I get so tongue-tied with all the F's and the L's. But that powder is like it for me. I don't ever need to try another powder. I'm just wondering if anybody is using a Too Faced product and being like, this is it for me. Nothing else will ever come into my life. Like, I don't know if I think that's happening. I don't know, man. I think I've just aged out of this a little bit. Not to mention, I'm not a huge fan of the way some of the heads of this company have done things. It's too many releases. It's not enough quality. Not my thing. Number 4 is Anastasia Beverly Hills. So for the past couple of years or so, at least for me, ABH has turned into the needy, desperate, won't stop calling you, stalking your workplace. I'm not like regular girls, I'm a cool girl type of persona in the makeup space. I don't know what happened, man. I feel like there was a time when ABH could do no wrong. Every release was crushing it. They were selling out. They were making favorites videos. Like, this was the brand we all turned to time and time again for consistently good product. However, I do think that their heyday and that period where they were killing it has more to do with when they launched than it has to do with their products as a whole in most cases. I feel like they were one of, if not the brand for a long time who had their thumb on the pulse of trends and beauty and social media. And if they weren't closely following the trends, they were making them and setting them. But it kind of feels like it's been years since that's been the case. The last products I bought from ABH were also in 2018. It was the On Resi highlighter and the Soft Glam palette. Both products are fine. I hardly ever use them though, and I certainly don't ever see myself repurchasing them. There's also little to no staples from ABH I go for. The only thing would be the dip brow, and that's only because I don't know off the top of my head any other brands that make a similar product I want to try, because I just started using this product. Other than that, there's nothing else in my stash I'm repurchasing on the regs. But the fact that they released like 15 or so eyeshadow palettes in 1 year really only like solidifies for me that I'm not alone in that the staples in that line are not what's keeping the lights on, so to speak. The actual branding itself in the form of packaging also, to me, considering the price point, feels kind of cheap. There's nothing about this that screams, pay a premium price for this. Like, not at all. So for me, packaging and product need to work synergistically once you're in this type of a price category or price point. I don't think you can get by on just packaging alone, or I mean, like, you shouldn't be able to, but this is just missing the mark for me. If I were ABH, I would rebrand. I would get rid of the single shadows altogether or stop making so many palettes. Like, why are you competing with yourself? Your line is so confusing for this reason. I would redo all my packaging and I would get some really good staples. The things that people are gonna buy over and over and over again. I don't think they have any except for their brow products, and they're not even the only gig in town there either. Benefit to me is who I turn to for brow products now. I think they really need to focus on coming out with products like they used to, like really kind of being at the forefront of what is trending in makeup right now. So for me, I think they need to come out with like some really well formulated cream bronzers and then also reformulate your powder ones because they suck. Do some beautiful cream eyeshadows, some cream blushes, finishing powders, a bomb concealer. Like, put all your money into that. Don't let any of it be limited edition and slay it. And I think that would really help their brand as a whole. To me, most of their products are just clinging to a makeup style and makeup trend that I think we're seeing the last days of, and they're gonna need to shape up or they might have to ship out. Lastly, and perhaps leastly, we have Smashbox. Remember at the top of this video when I said there are 2 brands on this list that were kind of like the Captain D's of the makeup world? This is the other one. Who is buying Smashbox? Okay, let me take it back. Who is buying from Smashbox and not buying the primers? I sort of think that Smashbox might have a similar idea behind their marketing and advertising budget that Stila has. Like, my conspiracy allegedly is that Stila and Smashbox are just gonna sit back and let all of these fly-by-night, quick pop-up Instagram famous brands do their thing, blow all their budget on PR, brand trips, and sponsorships, and then they'll slowly die and fade away. And then Smashbox and Stila are over here like, well, we didn't spend our money on all that garbage and we're still here. Like, I think it's something like that. That's just my conspiracy. I definitely tried several Smashbox products and some of them are really good, but I don't feel like they are hitting the mark where they need to on some of the more popular products that are on the market. Like, a good example of that would be their eyeshadow palettes. I decluttered almost all of those in a recent video. And here's the thing. It really wasn't because the eyeshadows themselves were bad. I mean, some of them were stupid, like the pressed glitter one. But a lot of them, just for some reason, it was the packaging or something that was stopping me from ever pulling for those things. And I don't think they were a big hit. The whole line seems pretty well curated to me. It seems like much the way Stila does, they have figured out what they're doing well and they strive to continue to do that well. Also, much like Stila, I feel like Smashbox is just avoiding the influencer collab thing. I know they did a setting spray. It was just already their existing primer spray, just smelled different with Nicole Concilio, which odd combination of 2 things if you ask me. Nothing against Nicole and nothing against Smashbox, but why? Also, the Hood Witch, that was kind of cool, where they had this whole like crystal element to it. I thought that was neat, but I'm just kind of a sucker for that kind of stuff. But other than that, Shay Mitchell was a spokesperson for some stuff. They had the Vlada MUA collab, but that's all I can think of in the past. I don't even know how many years since influencers have been the way of helping your brand stand out. They really are sitting this out, I think. But their line as a whole is pretty well curated. Like, those primers, I'm willing to bet, are probably the best-selling primers and primerizing products on the market and probably have been for a long time. I'm sure there's some data to support my hypothesis somewhere. But they've also got really good concealers, and I also like their liquid lipstick. So they have those staples. They have those items that can help your line go the distance and kind of stay afloat, even if you're not crushing it with all the limited edition and fly-by-night types of releases. And then here's the thing, you guys, with concealers, liquid lipsticks, primers, those are the items that when I find ones that I like, I come back again and again and again. Except that with Smashbox, I haven't. And as I just said, a lot of their items in those categories are really nice, but there's just something about this brand that I just walk right past every time I go into a makeup store. I haven't bought a Smashbox product since 2017. Maybe it's because I don't really believe in primers anymore, and that's a huge part of their line, or at least in terms of the better part of their line. I also haven't gone back to their concealer because NARS Radiant Creamy is the only one that I use, and I don't really wear liquid lipstick anymore, so that just eliminates all of the items from their line that I'm interested in. Obviously they have a target audience, obviously they're killing it in some capacity, but it just seems like a brand that most people aren't excited about, and I'm definitely one of them. Sometimes I can look at a brand and like figure out if they did something different, what would bring me to purchase from them more, but I can't think of anything for Smashbox. Just sometimes the vibe is off. And in this case, it definitely is. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, stay tuned for the other 2 in this series coming very soon. Check out T's video linked below. And as always, thank you to the patrons. We are doing tons of live streams. I feel like I say it every single video because in my opinion, if you ever wanted to join Patreon, which you absolutely do not have to do, but if you ever wanted to, now might be a good time because we do live streams a couple of times a week at the very least. We recently did a Tiger King one. We did a group facial not too long ago. We have more live streams coming up, and then April content is coming soon. It's either going to be a true crime and makeup time. Again, my patrons love that shit. Or it's going to be like me telling you guys all the craziest stories from when I was a professional makeup artist. And I got a lot of them. Other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. And I will catch you in the next one.